Hey everybody, I'm Jake McEntire, formerly of Opening Doors podcast with my co-star, BJ Stark.
Co-star. That's high praise.
And we've brought somebody on that was on the old podcast. It's easier for me to say. Ty Olsen, welcome, Ty.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Thanks, Ty.
So BJ and I are real estate agents, and Ty is a mortgage lender. So we wanted to come together as three ruggedly handsome dudes and talk Utah real estate.
Yes.
That's what we're here for.
Wasn't that like the highest request? Is everybody wanted to see your face, and that was the deal with the podcast?
That's right. I was going to say one of those things is true that Jake said. We are real estate agents.
We talked about it. We're going to have to wear shirts. It's kind of a hang-up, but we decided to give you guys what you want.
But still no pants.
Don't ask about the pants. Every day is Winnie the Pooh Day here.
They've all done it on Zoom. We know you have.
Yes.
So let's just jump right into this. So the biggest question that we always get is now the best time to buy? My short answer is always absolutely yes, maybe. I've got kids, so I know how to answer these questions.
Yes.
I think it's a very misleading question, honestly.
Right.
So I like to change the question and make it what it really is. Is it a good time for you to buy or sell real estate?
Right.
What do you think of that?
I think that's the right question because otherwise you're not taking into account everyone's personal situation. Because although now may be a difficult time for someone to buy, it was also a very difficult time to buy a year and a half ago in the height of the pandemic craze. So it's going to change and be different for everybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What are you seeing, Ty, with what has changed? I mean, things have changed very quickly, faster than we ever expected. But what are you seeing as you're engaging with buyers and how they're meeting the market?
We're still definitely getting contracts in. People are out there looking for homes. We, with the rates drastically going up, we are seeing a lot of payment shock. So people are kind of not expecting the payments to be quite as high as they currently are. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad time to buy. Like you guys said, it's situational. So if it's somebody that's currently sitting in a home with a 2.875 fixed rate, I would never advise that they sell their house and get into a new one unless there's an actual purpose for that. But we are kind of rolling out some programs as well that are helping people get the payment down, such as the 2-1 buy down program, which can be pretty drastic change on the monthly payment for the first 2 years. So
Did you say a Jurassic change?
There is a Jurassic change in
We haven't seen rates like this for 40 million years.
Oh, actually, I can't do that, right? Because we'll get sued.
I don't know.
Oh, you can hum it.
Okay. Okay. It is one of the best movie themes of all time.
I don't think Steven Spielberg is that litigious. You're fine.
Okay. But whatever his parent company is.
He does watch our podcast, though, for sure.
Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah. Well, it would be kind of an interesting concept, like dinosaurs trying to get mortgage loans 40 million years ago. These rates.
T-Rex is trying to sign closing documents, just gets frustrated,
He can't
hits the
get
escrow officer, destroys the title office.
He's really pushing for the digital closings with those little arms.
Why am I even buying a house? I can eat everyone and get my own. I'll take their houses. All right.
Well, yeah, and it is important to remember. So if you just focus on the doom and gloom that is coming through the media, which is definitely going to take the more sensational angle on this thing, there are still transactions happening. Yes, are they reduced? Absolutely. I think we're somewhere over 10,000 active listings on the MLS, but there's about 5,200 under contract listings, and this doesn't even count, new construction or any off-market transactions. So there's still a lot going on out there.
And prices are coming down, too. I always say, the rate is always negotiable in the future. Rates will come down eventually, and we can negotiate that down. But the house price that you buy the house at, that's sticks forever. So
right. Well, and so some of the pros of buying a house right now are the lack of competition or severely reduced competition. You're probably not going to have to come in $40,000 over list on the first weekend and make all these incredible waivers of your conditions to the contract. And in fact, you can, back to your 2-1 buy down, you can ask for concessions from the seller. And there are many sellers that are willing to pay those closing costs or those buy downs for buyers.
Absolutely. Most of the contracts hitting my desk right now, the buyer, they're not paying their own closing costs. It's coming from the seller.
Yeah. And with the rate buy down, you can actually get to a point where the rate is pretty comfortable.
Yeah.
And the seller's kind of having to pay for that
Yeah,
at this
the
point.
2-1 buy down reduces your rate by 2 points the first year. So if you're locking it at a 7, we do have to qualify you off that 7, but your rate for the first year will be a 5.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second year will be 6. So it's a huge difference on the payment.
Yeah, and that really is the anticipation that these rates, where they're at, will be coming down at some point. But yeah, of course, there is some risk. When will they come down? When we'll be able to time that? So it like you just said, you have to qualify for that long-term rate. So, but yeah, there's opportunity out there.
Yeah.
But you've really got to have your situation scrutinized with professionals as part of that decision making. This happens all the time in all circumstances, whether the market's coming up, it's down, it's flat, where people want to consider buying a home, but they haven't gotten all the facts. They haven't asked a lot of the questions that they need to ask, and so it's kind of a cart behind the horse situation.
Right. So many times you get a call, we want to go see this house, let's go look at this house, but you haven't talked with Ty. There's no steps that have been taken to understand fully, wait, what can we afford? What is our payment going to look like? Because sometimes once you know that, you don't even want to look at that house anymore.
More often than not, when we get a random call on a listing or just connected with somebody that has interest in a house, they haven't even taken into consideration what their buying power is, what their budget is. Do they need cash to bring to the closing table? How much? And so on and so forth. So it's impossible for us to be all that helpful other than to say, yeah, I can open a door for you, but are we really benefiting your time, the seller's time? Let's answer all these questions that have to be asked and answered along the way anyways. So
yeah. And it's really the same process to determine, is now a good time for me to buy and sell? Once we sit down with you and go over all of these steps, you'll have a really good idea if now is a good time or you need to wait.
That's the great part of working with professionals is we see so much more than somebody that's just making that one transaction. Not only with what we see, but what we hear, and so we know what questions to ask. We know what topics we need to address before we even get things started. So I think we've nailed that one, knocked it out of the park. Everyone's clear as a bell.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But call us just in case.
Yeah, if it's not clear, you've got our phone numbers.
So with this channel, we have a lot of different ideas. It's not just going to be us having these round tables and talking about what's current here in Utah real estate. We want to make some funny skits, some things that make us laugh about this industry, and really have a lot of fun with YouTube.
More dinosaur impressions.
Those are definitely coming down the line.
It's going to happen. Jurassic Park, the real estate brokerage.
Yes. Can you imagine if a Velociraptor was your broker? So volatile. You never know.
If they've done 7 or 8 Jurassic Park movies, I think we can get some funding for
sure
a Jurassic style real estate sitcom. I don't know.
Sure.
We'll work on that. So one thing that we wanted to kind of play with is you see high-end real estate highlighted all the time on YouTube and in the news. So we wanted to kind of bookend that, though. What is the highest sale in the last week as contrasted with the lowest? Now, this is just along the Wasatch Front. So what do you guys think is the lowest sale in the last week?
Weber County.
Yeah, I think our office is right here in beautiful downtown Ogden, and I bet it's not far from where we're sitting right now.
Yeah, I bet you we could go and walk over to it. In fact, it's even on Ogden Avenue, of all places. But this cute little bungalow is less than 700 square feet.
Wow.
A 2-bedroom.
Hotel room.
With a 1-car garage, surprisingly. They don't come on very big lots there.
A
So
one-car shed, I presume.
yeah, maybe you can keep rakes and shovels, but I'd keep the car out of this garage. But it sold for $273,000
Okay.
right here in Ogden.
Yeah,
in the
below
last week.
300.
Yeah. So where do you think the high end one for the week landed?
Summit County.
Yeah, it's got to be Park City.
Or Alpine.
Yeah, for the most part, we're probably going to be bouncing between Ogden and Park City, but there's going to be some outliers eventually. There has to be. What do you think the top sales price was?
Can you tell us square footage?
We're 9,200.
Okay.
6 million.
7.5.
You guys are pretty dang close, right? 7 million
All right.
Right in the middle.
cash.
Man, $7 million cash.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, how about that?
That's a lot of cash to just have to put towards a house that probably is a vacation home, honestly.
Yeah, most likely. I mean, 1.5 acres, a 3-car garage for a 10,000 square foot home. They're probably not staying there year round, and you could probably even it's probably on Airbnb or something like that.
Yeah.
Who's the Floyd Mayweather?
The boxer?
He almost explicitly pays for everything cash.
Yeah.
Which a lot of people don't know this. You can't just bring duffel bags of cash to the closing table
No,
for your escrow
it's frowned
officer.
upon.
You've got to wire those funds.
Unless you bring more bags of cash.
For each of them.
Yeah, but that would be a fun way to do it. Just
Oh,
make
yeah.
pure cash transaction. That'd be neat. Well, all right. Well, that was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to making a lot of these.
Likewise.
We'll see you guys next week.